Hey, my name is Rio, and you are in CIT95 Intro to Python at Fresno City College, 100% online. In this first video, this week zero Hello World, have you heard that Hello World? It's kind of classic first thing you do in any kind of programming class. So rather than to actually make you write it, which you do a little later, thought I'd name my first video this. So welcome to Python, Fresno City College, 100% online. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the concepts around what Python is, how this course is organized, what you need, when do you get started, what can you expect. And so the first thing you may notice, depending on when you get here, now some of you will get here towards the middle of September. And that's because I release I released this course early, as I try to do all of my courses, quite frankly, because I like the students to know what's heading at them. And because of the type of material that I use for a traditional textbook equivalent, because I do not use textbooks, I use Udemy courses, which I'll show you in a minute. The nature of that system, which I don't control, that I just show you, here's the course we're going to use. The longer you have those accounts, the better. But again, we'll get into that and we'll walk you through it. What I really want to do here is say that, I'm releasing it early. You can go through this week zero. And if you get through this, then you can actually get started on week one. I just today finished recording the last video for week one. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be fun. I'm actually pretty excited. This is my second year teaching Python. I normally teach as my primary language JavaScript, which I'm running right now a 9-week course that is going to be ending here in a couple of weeks. And so I'm ramping up for the next one. And I really enjoy teaching programming. I enjoy it for so many different reasons. I enjoy getting to know the students. I enjoy building my own skill base because, quite frankly, I don't know if I could teach something that I don't do myself. I can't imagine teaching this without actually coding. Having said that, I'm not a professional developer. I have coded for money for sure in my life. I teach as my profession, and this is my selected topic, and I freaking enjoy it. I really, maybe freaking's not the best word to use, but oh well, we're all adults. So I'm working from my home, which I suspect everyone is in one way or the other, because where you're working could vary, right? And where I'm working could vary, quite frankly. That's both the benefit of the way we are now and also the challenge at times. Now, I've been teaching online before the current online, mostly Fresno City College offerings. I've been teaching coding for years online, and I completely enjoy it. I completely enjoy the environments. I try to really lean in to help the students take advantage of the flexibility, but also help them, lean in to help themselves because it is definitely different than setting in front of somebody, right? Especially with a skill-based class like this, is really leaning into the systems that I provide to help you. Of course, number one is my office hours, coming to see me. I will provide you a Discord server. You'll learn about that in next steps. So, and I've noticed this semester as I'm teaching JavaScript, the students sometimes hesitate to post. And the reason they tell me is they feel like they don't know enough to post what they would feel is a good question. And I would say to you, try not to let that get in your way. Just posting a question is good. Don't spend too much time trying to overthink it. We do that way too much in life anyway. Okay, so let's get into my official topics here. So, let me get out of the way. So, this is the course. You've come here. And as you can see, just by looking at this first interface, you have to get through this to get to the next steps. And in order to get to week one, you have to get through both of these items. Okay. So I sequence content such that forces the idea of sequential. I actually break this a little bit in week 1, and you'll hear about that in the attendance. So let's go ahead and look in here. So why first thing, why Python? Well, quite frankly, if you scroll down and look at this red monk, right? JavaScript that I'm teaching right now, based on the current both survey and experts who look at these fields, you can see that number 1 and number 2, JavaScript and Python. Python is hugely becoming much more popular. Java is still popular. And for those of you that think Java and JavaScript is the same, let me disavow you of that. They are different, intended for different platforms. But this is a Python class, and Python is very popular beginning computer science language, very popular programming development language, gaining because of its popularity and use like machine learning, analytic. There's just so many different reasons. So it's a great time to learn Python, I guess is what I would say to you. And that is a reason to do it. Definitely a growing market, and it's great to put on your resume. And now, what will you learn? Well, in this case, you'll learn to write programs in Python, and kind of goes along with what you'll need, and kind of goes along with how this class will be run. But you will learn to write code. Now, having said that, let's just look at the course to kind of give you a little more. So we're going to use the Udemy course that I was talking about before, and we're going to move through 24 days of that class. And there's 100 days in there that I'll show you in a minute. So each week it varies a little bit. And then I will create these learn togethers, and you'll see over here what this is. So the idea of the day, each day on the Udemy course, is that you will code along or do whatever is in that video, because each day has sometimes 15, sometimes 20 videos in it. They're not real long, which is great, but I do have a specific process. But the idea here is that you're learning to code, you're watching along, you have interactive exercises, and you have final projects. Okay. Then on the learn together days, this is where I give you an assignment for you, and we all learn something together. And this makes up, and I actually have changed this semester because of the Udemy course that I'm using. And I will just tell you, in the past, these two were equal, but because of this course, I've made this a little heavier because of the way it's organized. And quite frankly, some of the things that I used to do in the Learn Together assignments now are done in these, what I term a code along, or just when you see these days. But this is the key. What will you learn? You will learn to code. Okay. 50% of this class comes from Dev 0, Dev 1, and Dev 2. 0, because in computer programming, most things they begin with a 0 and an index. So that's why I do it this way. So you have 3 points in the semester that you will actually code something and then come in to do a code review with me. And what that means is you have to come up with a concept, take the requirements, because I will give you requirements, and then come into a code review. So I will end up meeting with each of you individually 3 times this semester. Okay. And that's 50%. So we do everything that we do is in preparation to get you here. And the idea is, let's actually teach you, let's actually code as much as possible. I'm coming back here. Okay. So that's what you're going to learn, right? And you will learn it through the structure of this. But I suspect if you're interested, you probably may learn it also just on your own. Now, this semester, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because it is often very common in learning to code that you may get introduced to something, but it's really you taking it to the next level. And what I really love about the course that I've selected, the Udemy course, okay, and it's already have it up here, is from Dr. Angela, who is really very good. I spent some time really looking at all the different Udemy courses that are available, and I really like this one. I like it for a lot of different reasons. I think she's very good about the way she goes through. So when you saw in the schedule, right, days. So the first week we do day 1, day 2, second week day 3, day 4, day 5. That's all from this course. And then you can see once you're in there. Now, having said that, part of the reason I release early is to give you an opportunity to get this a little cheaper. Because what happens is, again, I don't control Udemy, I just point students over there. But the one thing I've consistently seen is that once you set up an account on their system, you typically will get an advertisement that will give you a discounted price on all their courses. But this is the specific one you're looking out for. Now, having said this, I can't endorse this, but I do know there are other ways, and you can ask the Google. That's kind of a joke, but not really. About discounted codes for Udemy. Okay, so I'm just gonna, again, I can't endorse those because just whatever you do, just be aware, read carefully any information. But I think your best bet is actually just to sign up with Udemy, and as they market things, watch for that. And then also, if you join our Discord, which is the next item here, if I see they're on sale, I will also post them out there. Okay. All right. So when can you start? Well, pretty much whenever you want. I believe I'm going to, and I was just going to bring up the calendar because believe it or not, I'm in September, and I think I'll get this released on the 13th. And the reason I'm hoping to do that is that would be 1, 2, 3 weeks before the start of this class. Okay. So here, and actually, if I'm scrolling forward here in 95, you can already see those items set. So this is when the class actually starts. So I've tried to give you a little time to get these materials. That's really the primary purpose of this first video. And, for those of you that are interested, you can get an early start. So when can you start? Well, I have this week 0 and I have week 1 ready for you to work on. And I will now, once I get the course released, start working on week 2. All right. And this is a new course for me. I've not ever used this course, so I'm actually creating as we are together. And you'll see what that looks like when you move in to week 1. Okay, so this is a really important thing for you to understand. This class is normally taught in the 18-week mode online, true, generally always, because I'm the one teaching it, but it is a 4-unit class. So for this particular semester, this is a 9-week 4-unit class, and it is going to fill, depending on where you're at, what kinds of things you have in your life. This is going to have it can range anywhere from feeling like it's a fire hose to, and I shouldn't laugh, but it could feel that way. But the key is you got to stay up with this content. As you can already see based on the schedule that I showed you, right? It's a full week every week, leading to big items 3 times. And again, this is the schedule that I have planned right now. I'm doing this first week only 2 days because I'm not going to have that first item due 3 days in the Udemy course, and then a learn together, 2 more days, a 1-day break, and then the first dev work. Okay. So here's what I want students to know. This class is going to go fast. It's a 4-unit class. There's going to be a lot. You should be working on it pretty much each day of the week or in the weekend if your schedule allows for that. Okay. Ask me any questions about that, but please, I've had some students taking my JavaScript class right now, and they said to me, Rio, I didn't understand what that meant until they got a little ways into it. So I just want you to be aware of the difference, the way this course is structured. I've already talked about this, right? But there's really 3 parts of this class: the code along, which is from the Udemy course, the learn together, and then the develop at work. And then I've already gone over and given you a rough idea. So the last thing I want to talk about before we talk about how do you actually submit this work here, which is really going to be pretty straightforward. But the thing I want you to know is in this first week, okay, in the Udemy course in day 1 and day 2, you can use a system that she uses, and that actually what's interesting is I had actually used it even before this for some of my other for my JavaScript for my CIT 15 classes. So it's a nice system. She'll use it, so it's completely web based. And to get started, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so day 1 and day 2, she will use that. Now, on the first Learn Together, which will be the first Thursday, I'm going to show you how to set up a local dev environment. And so, what I want you to know is that you will need to install some things on your local system. This works on Mac. I use that. Matter of fact, my primary desktop is a Mac. I also work on Windows. Some of the videos I recorded for this first week were done on Windows. I also use Linux. I use Chromebooks. But typically, I see most students either using Windows or Mac. So I want you to know, this information. So I'm actually going to stop right here for just a second. I'm going to show you because I'm in the student view. Oh, I was already there. I could have stayed. Start this assignment. So here's all you want to do is to complete this assignment and move to next steps. Let me know that you understand the information I've provided here, right? Most importantly, actually this, like setting up the Udemy account so you can get this at a discounted price. I think I bought it for $10, right? So when you first set up this, you may see this for more. This is part of why I'm having you do it early so you can get that sale, because Udemy is known for marketing to students and or marketing to anyone on their system to give them lower prices. And I want you to know, when you can start. I want you to know about the compressed timelines. I want you to know about the 3 parts of this class, and that you're going to need to install some a local dev environment, which means you're going to need to install some software. Okay, so if you understand all those things, or if you have a question about any of that, this is what I'd want to see your answer to, right? Do you understand the information I just covered? All right. So that's what you need to move forward. Let me bring me back. I'm out in the ether somewhere. All right. So I hope this gives you an overview, right? Hello world for this course. And I'm glad you're here. Thanks for taking this course. I know programming is a hot topic in many areas. Python is a really great topic right now. To learn Python is a really great time to do that. And I look forward to getting to know each of you as we move into this next adventure, right? 9 weeks will go quick, no doubt about that. But if you're up for the challenge, I'm up for the challenge as well. So let's get started. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you soon.